All right, if you're using the SubAlert app on your Mac and you are trying to send yourself a test app notification from the SubAlert website, but it just doesn't show up here, or it doesn't play a sound, or you're having some other kind of issue with it, then this video is for you. Okay, so first thing, come over here to your control center icon over here and click it. And very first thing, make sure you're not in focus or do not disturb or sleep mode or anything like that. If whatever it shows here isn't turned off, then turn it off, because that's what's keeping your notifications from showing up on your Mac. Also, if you care about your Mac app notifications making sounds, make sure you're not completely muted, because that'll also mute the notification sounds. All right, next thing, come over here to your SubAlert app and go to Settings. Then go to Notification Options. Then go to Open System Settings. All right, now make sure it's turned on. Make sure it's turned on in all these places. And if you want to play sounds, make sure that's turned on as well. A couple other suggestions of what you could do here. To show previews, this just means, like, does the notification just show our app icon, or does it show the actual job information in the notification? I would go here and I'd change it to either when unlocked or always, if you also want the notifications to show up on your lock screen with all their information. Secondly, summarize notifications. I'd turn that off. That just means when you get multiple SubAlert notifications, should your Mac use AI to boil them down to one notification that's summarized with AI, then in our case is just going to say, hey, you got a bunch of new jobs. We already know that, just because anytime you get a notification from SubAlert, it's a new job. So really, this is just one extra step that you have to, one extra click you have to do before you get to the actual job notification, so you can actually book your job. So I just turned that off. Next, let's come over to your main notification settings. And the main thing to look at here is, if you're plugged into an external monitor, make sure it's allowed to send you notifications when you're doing that. The other thing is, if you want to see the notifications come in while your screen is locked or while your display is sleeping, you can turn that stuff on at your preference. Okay, next, come over here to sound. If you want your Mac notifications to play sounds, first of all, make sure that the alert volume is up. And both these things need to be true. The alert volume has to be up, and your output volume has to be up. If this is on mute, even if this is turned on, it's not going to play sounds, and vice versa. And if you have this really low, even if you have this really high, it's still going to play barely any sound. So make sure they're both, somewhere in the middle. This output volume, you can also see if you come here to the control center and control that over here. And they're what your buttons on your keyboard control to make your volume go up and down with. Next, come over here to focus and go through each of these to make sure that their settings are what you expect. So make sure especially that there's not some kind of schedule of when Do Not Disturb automatically gets turned on your Mac, because if it is, then you're obviously not going to get notifications during that time. Unless you add us to your allowed apps, of apps that are allowed to break through the Do Not Disturb setting, you're welcome to do that if you like. Same thing for these other two. Click through them and make sure there's not a schedule that they're going off on that you didn't expect. And then over here, share across devices. What this means is that when you set Do Not Disturb on your Mac, it also enables Do Not Disturb on your iPhone, and vice versa. And any settings you set up here for schedules of when these go off automatically on your iPhone also affect your Mac, and vice versa. It's okay to have this turned on, just be aware of what's going on there. Okay, next, screen time. All right, most likely your screen will look something like this. And if you click App and Websites Activity, it's gonna tell you, hey, do you want to turn on this feature? If you don't already have this turned on, just keep this turned off and you're good. Then basically we've done everything already. Go back to the subalert.com website and send yourself another test app notification. It should work this time. But if this was turned on, if it looked like this when you came here, okay, then there's a few more things that we gotta take care of. First off, downtime. Click here. Make sure that it's turned off right now. Because if it's turned on, that's very likely the culprit of why you're not getting notifications. Make sure there's not a schedule that it turns on automatically on that you don't expect. When this turns on, you're not going to be able to use SubAlert or get notifications from SubAlert unless you've added SubAlert to this always allowed apps section. That is the list of apps that are allowed to break through the downtime. If you do like to use this downtime feature, click over here and make sure that it's added inside this always allowed apps section over here. All right, over here now there's app limits. Click on this one. Make sure that there's no limit on SubAlert there. You might have groups of apps they have limits in. If you have any groups of apps here, click on each group and make sure that SubAlert is not included in it. Okay, and last thing I wanted to point out is, again, we have this share across devices so that do you want all these settings synced with your iPhone or not? Again, totally cool to have that turned on. Just be aware that if you change something on your iPhone, it's going to change something on your Mac as well, and vice versa. All right, at this point, we've double-checked absolutely everything that could be blocking your app's notifications from showing up or playing a sound or what have you. And this time, if you go back to subalert.com, to your account page and trigger a new test app notification, it should show up and play a sound and behave exactly like you wanted it to.